Hello, everyone, and welcome to session. Okay, I don't remember what session of Fallout New Thedas. Yes, you do owe me that. All right. So previously on Fallout New Thedas, the gang successfully removed the magic items from the bandits' loving care and brought them back to Dirthara, who deconstituted them. I mean, are you all gay? Because I don't think the gaying works unless you're all gay. And I don't want to, make that decision for your characters.
Neural sexuality is a question mark.
Like many things in Gnarl's life.
I haven't decided, man. I don't know. At least bisexual, maybe. I'm a rock.
All right. We've got a question mark, a rock, a bisexual, and whatever Desmond is. Desmond might be pan. Okay. So, yes, anyways, the gang, who I'm not calling the gang because it's just hard to say. You discovered that Mahanan from the Elven Village had orchestrated a plot to steal the items from you in transit. And he did feel a little bad about how he was going to murder all of you, but not super bad. You guys got away with the stuff, but he got away with his life. Dirthara basically told you not to worry about it, and she gave you guys some new toys as well as the information you were looking for on the being who enchanted the amulet that you discovered back in Warren.
But it was an UG.
It wasn't a nug. You know for a fact it was a demon.
Demon Nug.
I'm gonna say right now, blanket ruling, demons are not also nugs. That's not to say a nug cannot be possessed by a demon, but I'm gonna say there are gonna be no actual demons deliberately taking the form of nugs outside of a possessed body in this game. No, I'm not gonna ban nugs.
Okay.
But our bugs demons and our
Demon that accidentally possessed a Nug and is now stuck there for some reason. That's my theory.
You have a picture of the demon. She
Who's
literally
trapped inside of a Nug spot. No, okay, go on.
You have a picture of what she looked like at the moment that Dirthara read this amulet thingy.
Oh, well, maybe they escaped. You don't know their life. Well, you do, but we don't. So I'm guessing.
Anyways, you guys discovered that the demon who is not in a nug is in the ruins of the tower at Lake Illuminati? No, I can't even say that word.
Illuminati.
Okay,
Confirmed.
I haven't even finished the recap, guys. I haven't even finished the recap.
Sorry.
Okay. I'm not sure if it's a new record. Tangaroa was pretty wild. But anyways, so journey to Lake Calenhad is going to take you guys quite a while. And since Jenny is in such immediate danger, you have all elected to start out on the journey, but also to try and find a rift mage along the way who can send you through a portal through the Fade, despite how mind-blowingly dangerous that course of action will be.
I mean, the Fade doesn't really exist, so it's not going to be that dangerous.
Oh, yes, and also, Ray crapped out so hard on an enchantment roll that she believes the Fade doesn't exist. And that is what happened last week. So, do you guys want to leave the village, start this having left the village? Where do you guys want to be?
I think we already left the village.
We came out of the village. Well, we came out into the village, and Felice got a message, and then I think we were leaving the village.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, I forgot you got a message.
Yep.
Yes, Felice got a mysterious letter, the contents of which I don't think she has shared with the group.
Nope.
All right.
Secret letter. Secret letter. Sorry.
Secret, 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 secret letter.
Thank you for validating me.
All right. You guys have 4 people and 1 Sable, who is the name of Felice's horse, but she's sort of accidentally misappropriated, who, by the way, is not a sable-colored horse. Just to be clear, Sable is a strawberry roan.
He's a strawberry roan. And listen, the person who he belonged to is no longer using him.
Quick question.
I mean, I think you accidentally borrowed Sable after Sable was stolen. So,
Yes.
like, unclear.
The important thing is he was stolen.
Yes. Okay. So,
I have a
yes.
quick logistics question. Is there like a cart somewhere we could hook Sable up to? That way we could all go slightly faster? Well, if you guys could, I can kind of trot alongside the cart.
I mean, you do have the distinct advantage of not being able to get tired. You could ask around town before you left if you'd like.
Do y'all wanna road trip it in a cart? Or do you wanna
I am
walk
fine
slash
just trying
ride?
to find a cart.
All right. You guys choose amongst yourselves. Someone roll luck.
Not
I
me.
vote someone with good luck.
I am unlucky. Luck is not my lady tonight.
If
Or any
I'm
night.
not mistaken, based on my vague memory of y'all's character sheets, you might want to ask Neural.
Andrea just
No.
BRB'd.
Yeah, Gnarl just stepped away from the table for a sec.
Oh, that explains why Andrea was so quiet.
My luck is 5.
I thought she was just respectfully not harassing me.
Andrea is the good one.
Who would do that?
What a fool I was. Is Bucky here? While we're talking about people who weren't harassing me, is he gone too?
I'm not gone. I was just muted because I was eating, but I actually need to go to the bathroom. So is that okay?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm not your bathroom meister.
What if I just like walked through the village shouting, "Large rock person looking to buy sturdy cart to fit adventuring party. Price negotiable."
Fuck, roll charisma?
Sick. Can I roll strength for strength of will?
No! No! What is wrong with you? Of course you can't.
Andrea, you're back. Please roll luck.
I got a 15 on my charisma save.
Great, you suck. Andrea, please roll luck.
Andrew got a 16.
I get
Together,
I get the
together,
feeling.
can we find a cart?
I get the feeling we're not getting a cart today.
All right.
Can my role be to assist Andrea's role?
Yeah, you know what? Okay. Your role is to assist Andrea's role, which gives her exactly +4 because I need this story to move on now. And a woman kind of taps you, or I guess taps Neural on the shoulder and says, excuse me, your friend is screaming, but you should really just ask Craig. Craig has a whole list of things for sale and odd jobs that need doing and whatnot. Go to him.
Where is
Thank you kindly.
Craig?
She says, oh, he lives next door to me, and points you over to a small nondescript looking hut with an elf man sitting in a rocker on the porch with a list near his head that just has like various items scribbled on it.
Yes.
Neural is going to go and run over to this person.
Can we look at Craig's list?
Well, you're short.
Does person have cart?
Yeah, I reckon. It'll be about, well, it needs a new axle, but it'll be about 15 lyres, blue ones. And you can buy an axle down at Gacy's Hardware for probably about 3.
Phillies wordlessly gets out 15 blue lyres and hands them over.
Well, I don't know. I mean, 15 blue lyres seems like a lot of money for a broken cart.
We don't have time to haggle.
All right, fair enough.
Are you haggling or not? Because I just need to know.
If Elise tells Ray not to haggle, Ray won't try and haggle.
Phillies seems to be in a hurry.
All right, Ray won't haggle, but we'll know that Ray was ready.
Yeah, to haggle, you have to roll, I'm going to say gambling.
That sounds
That's
like
a
it's
luck
luck-based
roll.
skill.
Yeah, I knew you'd like that, Allie, but yeah, the skill if you only use
You're cutting out.
it for money-based things as well.
You're
Yeah,
cutting out.
you
Hannah.
cut out real bad, so I'm just gonna assume that you said that I was right in strength of will, and I can just roll strength every time I haggle.
Why are you harassing me?
Sorry, I love you.
I'm
Anyway.
a simple man running a simple game, and I am being harassed.
No, we're not getting a divorce, Dally. Ray is gonna pass Valise 5 blue lyres.
Thank you. She puts them in her pouch.
All right, you do that, and you can drop by Gacy's Hardware and get an axle. And I cannot overemphasize how unremarkable that trip is and how fast and easy it is to get an axle from Gacy's Hardware. It is a very convenient store.
Is there a fellow that likes to yelp a lot? Because I want to leave this Axel fella a really good review with that guy.
You're actually going to have to go to Denerim to find the Yelper.
Ah, darn. All right, well, side quest. Ray will pay for the axle.
Great. Okay. Everybody write that down at somewhere. Someone roll mechanics to actually fix the cart.
Ooh, me.
Yes, roll mechanics.
Love the energy. And getting a cart was a good idea.
Thank you.
All right, that'll do it. You fix the cart. Dog Meat holds your tools for you. It's very cute. There's also a
adorable.
big question about where you got the tools, but that's a plot hole that will be filled never.
I figured that there
It
was
was
some...
in- it was
Dog
in-
Meat just had them in
the
their
briefcase.
mouth.
They were probably in the suitcase. There's a lot of weird stuff in that suitcase. So, with that, is there anything else you guys would like to do in town before you set off?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, no, don't ask us that.
I mean, I can come up with something if you want.
I have to check.
That's
I don't want to railroad you guys.
I appreciate the checking, Hannah, but I think we're good, right?
I think the police would actually murder us if we dilly-dallied any longer.
That's not inaccurate.
I usually try to avoid PvP, but I would respect that.
I also
right.
usually try to avoid PvP.
This is my way of avoiding PvP.
Nice.
Let's go.
All right. You have to backtrack a little bit to get out of the forest, but you do so without incident, and it seems that without magic weapons or a car, the bandits are no longer super emboldened, especially since like 8 of them are straight dead. No, wait, 9 are just straight up dead now. They're not feeling like attacking hapless travelers or the village. And Mahannon's crew is nowhere to be seen at all. So you guys make it out. You head along the way. Is there anything you guys would like to RP amongst yourselves or do as you're traveling? Because it's kind of a long ways. I don't want to just make you roll a bunch of random encounters every like 20 minutes. Like I have stopped
Daryl is
players,
playing
but
his Pip-Boy.
all right. Has Neural learned to do anything else, or can Neural still just play Swarm?
Just swore.
That's the only
Is
thing
there-
that matters, surely.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So that's all the Pip Boys are good for. Ray is going to compliment Neural on their mechanical prowess and let them know that that's a very important skill for a Bronto herder to have.
Neural is acting like that typical teenager who is so engrossed in their video games they don't say anything.
He Groot.
Ray is speaking loud enough that she believes that Neural has heard her, so she's like not gonna press the matter.
Excellent.
No, just know that she is proud of your Bronto herding potential.
Everyone roll perception. I'm going to tell you up front, the DC is 5.
Okay,
Are we
we're not
being
gonna hit that.
ambushed?
Why would you say that out loud?
everyone gonna fail now.
It's funnier that way.
Is this an ambush?
If it is, it's a terrible one.
I made it. I saw whatever it was. I saw something. I seen it.
20.
Holy shit, Valise really saw it. And Neural's coming in for a mid-range roll above the rock, below the elf, but that's fair because the elf has elf eyes that see. And Desmond's coming in here with a 14 as well, going along with Neural's, which means Valise takes the lead. Valise, what do your elf eyes see?
Hannah, what do my elf eyes see?
Your elf eyes and everybody else's non-elf eyes,
Because the DC was 5.
yes, see up ahead of you, churning up the mud and honking and snorting and lowing, a massive herd of Bronto.
Oh god.
Yes! Oh, I'm in heaven. All right. Is there a herder anywhere in sight?
There is indeed. Let's see, Ray, you recognize, hang on, I wrote it down. You recognize your great-great-grandniece's second cousin, thrice removed, Bernard.
Yes. 1 second. I need to write that down in my notes. My notes document.
The important
Guys,
thing
the
is
cat
she's
is
happy.
looking out the window. I swear to God, she just chirped, just kind of like a sort of thing.
I love her. What's her name?
Beanie.
Oh,
What a name.
adorable name.
I get the feeling that Bucky is cat sitting today.
What
other
do I
cats.
know about Bernard?
The other cat's name is Laffy.
Well, as it happens currently, Bernard is whistling cheerfully and happily moving about among the Brontos, patting them gently on the head and speaking to them affectionately as they attempt to gore him to death while he does this.
Yeah.
So he seems like he's having a pretty good time. And when he sees you, I mean, the short answer to what you know about him is that you got him into Bronto herding.
Cool. Does he have all his limbs?
He does. His leg is in a metal splint right now, but it seems like that's happened enough times in his life that he's learned to sort of move pretty quickly with it.
Nice.
And it's not getting stomped again.
Good.
He's wearing steel-toed boots, as one would need.
Excellent.
And when he sees you, a smile kind of wrinkles his big red beard, and he waves at you and all of your traveling companions, and he says, "Ray!"
Bernard! Good to see you! How's the herd? They look fantastic!
Healthy and hale. We're looking to find a new cave to graze in.
Ah, yes, that's very important. Oh, well, let me introduce you to my companions here. This is Valise. Points to Valise. I went to motion with my arms, and I took my finger up the push-to-talk button to do that.
I do that sometimes.
So I don't know what all you heard, but Ray's like motioning a lot with her arms, which I can't do with my arms right now because I need to push the push-to-talk button. She's like, "This is Valise, and this is Desmond." Like, kind of like hurls her arm over to point to Desmond, and this is Neural. Neural is related to us in some fashion. A good, like, very good Bronto herding prospects here. A good base.
You look sturdy, cousin Neural? Cousin? You look very sturdy, friend. I'm glad you've decided and agreed of your own free will to join the noblest profession.
Has Neural even looked up from their Pip-Boy? Nope. Good.
Nerl has priorities.
Fair.
He claps Neural heartily on the shoulder and then turns back to Ray and he says, "Thank you again for giving me my first calf. It's really meant a lot to me. And anyways, well, I've recently gotten into the Bronto leather boot business to supplement the herding, and I want you to have these. Maybe you can use them as earrings or something, or perhaps one of the other members of your bipedal herd might get some use out of them."
Hannah, is this just to get Neural into some shoes?
I mean, it doesn't have to be Neural. He's just, it's literally a random encounter. I decided when I was writing the random encounter table, before I knew Neural was barefoot, that it would be boots. I have no more answers for you.
Hannah is
Hannah can see the
remarkably
future.
prescient.
I'm sorry, Dahlia, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I just said Hannah is remarkably prescient.
It's true. Are the boots like beautifully made?
Yes, the boots are gorgeous and beautifully made, and Desmond, you detect a faint sparkle of magic around them.
Excellent.
Do I know what sort of magic?
You can roll enchantment, but like you know purely from being a spirit / demon, like that they're enchanted. That's a race ability for you. And you rolled really, really well. So you are able to identify these as it's an enchantment meant to keep the wearer like warm, but it's a very effective one to the point where not only will your toes stay nice and toasty, but the wearer will also be somewhat resistant to frost magic.
Nice.
I'm going to gush over the boots for a little while and tell Bernard how proud I am of him and his Bronto herd looks fine and beautiful and strong, and I'm so proud of the Bronto herder that he's become.
Come share the campfire with me tonight, friends of Ray and Ray. I have enough Bronto jerky for all. It really backs you up after a while, but that's why it's important to stay hydrated to keep up with the herd.
You remember all your lessons so well.
Desmond is just kind of sitting there like, what?
He slaps you on the back and gives you a piece of Bronto jerky. It smells pretty much like a Bronto.
Uh-huh.
To be clear, it is like near nighttime, right?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, this is like at the end of the day. Sorry, I should have specified that. Like, you guys walked without anything happening for a good while.
Cool. Well, it is getting dark. Would you all like to share the fire with my kin?
I suppose there's safety in numbers.
Bernard is now chanting kin fire" behind you guys. And like dancing a little.
I take up the chant. This is a family tradition. Kin fire, kin fire, kin fire. I just want y'all to know that Ray will be singing a lot of traditional Bronto herding songs with Bernard tonight. I don't know what those would sound like or even what the lyrics would be, but that's what you're going to be hearing.
When they set up camp, Felice is mostly just going to be tending to Sable.
Fair.
Friend Valise, I see you too care greatly for your animals.
Just the one.
That's all right. I'm sure you'll get more soon.
Thank you. For this whole trip, ever since they left the village, Valise has been abnormally quiet and rather distractible.
Felice, come, we'll teach you some of the traditional Bronto herding songs. Guaranteed to lift the spirits.
I should stay with Sable and make sure he's doing all right.
Sable is normally a pretty even-tempered, mild-mannered horse, but when Sable's general sort of tether area grazing ground gets threatened by any of these Brontos, Sable just fucking bites them, and has thus far done a pretty effective job of keeping the Brontos back. He's got just a tiny bit of personal space.
I love him.
Me too. Well, Sable looks to be doing a fine job of marking out her territory, so if you change your mind, there's always room for more voices in the herd song.
Noted. Thank you.
Ray is going to hand Valise a small stuffed Bronto, and then go join the
Valise
fire.
takes it somewhat bemusedly.
All right. Is there anything anyone would like to do before bed?
Sing a lot of herding songs and try and get Neural to learn some of the lyrics, if Neural is amenable.
Soon as the sun set, Neural passed out.
Good. I love it.
A clever young dwarf. They know that sun time is Bronto time and are getting as much sleep as possible.
Indeed. Natural Bronto herding instincts this one has.
As you guys settle in, Bernard first pulls out a very thick, kind of dusty looking chapter book and settles down at the edge of the fire and begins reading a fairy tale to all of the Brontos before bedtime.
Good.
And when he finishes, he sings them what you can only assume to be a traditional dwarven lullaby, and the Brontos drop off one by one as he does this, and only when the last babyest Bronto is asleep does he retire to his own bedroll.
One of the finest herders our family has ever seen.
Also, if you guys want food that isn't Bronto jerky, you're gonna need to mark off provisions for today.
Police will have to jerky.
Ray is happily gnawing on some jerky.
Desmond is grouchy about it, but he doesn't say anything and he eats it anyway.
Does he like it though? It's teriyaki flavored, if that sweetens the pot.
He tolerates it.
All right. You wake up to the sun shining, the birds singing, the Brontos making horrible, screaming, horking noises that you eventually gather mean that they're happy and not in pain. It looks like a wolf tried to attack your camp last night and was just got the shit kicked out of it, because Brontos are the meanest guard dogs in the world. And other than that, you are free to continue on your journey. Bernard tearfully embraces each of you and tells you, wishes you all good luck, and he continues onwards in his quest for a cave that hasn't had all the vegetation stripped out of it already.
Good. I wish Bernard good luck and safe travels to the new herding cave.
The same to you, great grand aunt's second cousin, thrice removed.
Thank you, Bernard. I feel like I should just tell all my relatives to call me Auntie Ray. I feel like that would be easier.
Oh, good. Yeah, he says the same to you, Auntie Ray, and he kind of salutes before he wanders off into, I don't know, the sunrise.
Good. That was amazing. Thank you.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Okay, you guys have been traveling through some open plains. You are starting to see some small settlements sort of dotting the general area that you're traveling through now. I mean, you're welcome to visit some of them, but none of them are like super big or like the type of place that you think you could find a sufficiently advanced Rift Mage just yet. But signs of civilization are growing.
We continue on.
Okay. So you start seeing like these little settlements and like tiny, tiny farming communities first. But eventually, in the distance, you see some skyscrapers and some big, very like urban looking places. And roll perception.
That was for everyone, right?
Yes. I like that Valise's perception tag is just what, Dally?
Thank
It's a
you.
great tag.
All right. You guys see basically you see this just big city. It looks very like urban and modern in a way that most things in the wasteland don't. And Ray, you notice that it seems pretty clean. So would you guys like to approach the city, or are you gonna like go around it?
What time of day is it?
I'm gonna say it's like midday, maybe a little earlier. You guys have made some good progress since you left Bernard, since you all woke up crazy early because of the Brontos.
You mean at a reasonable time for such a fine group of Bronto herders?
Yes, when the sun rose a single degree over the horizon and the first ray of light touched the ground 3,000 miles away. The time most people get up.
That's when I get up.
Does this city look familiar to any of us? And by any of us, I guess I mean Valise or Ray, since, Nerl and Desmond are new to the area.
I don't know. Maybe something might jog Nerl's memory.
Unless you guys have like a specific backstory urge to have encountered it before, just roll streetwise.
I love how Nerl's probably the only one who has no idea.
Yeah, Nerl got a 12, Valise and Desmond got a 24, Ray got a 21.
Yes. Neural, there are tall buildings. It seems like people live there. Desmond, you rolled well, but like also you're from the Fade. So I'm going to say you see a lot of activity there. You don't see a lot of like farms or people laboring manually in the way that you've become accustomed to. It seems like this place makes a lot of its money by being a destination, either for entertainment or just for trade, since it is sort of smack in the middle of the country. And it's not entirely fair, but I'm saying that's what you figure out since you're not from around here.
No, that's completely fair. In fact, I consider not even rolling.
Yeah. Valise, between like being able to look at the map, which does ping with a location right now as you guys are approaching, and Ray, both of you have been around. You've never been to the city before, I'm gonna say, but you've all heard of Southreach. It's not quite like a new Vegas-y type destination, but that's close to the feel. Like it's clean. It's got tons of wealth and tons of security, and it's established itself in this sort of apocalyptic place as somewhere that people can go to forget their troubles for a while and pretend to live in it used to be called the city of the future, and now they call it the city of the past.
Heh.
It's a place people can go to think about what once was and what could have been. Also, it has a working monorail, which is what you were all rolling perception for earlier.
Did any of us see it? We didn't see it.
No, but you've seen a couple of like advertising posters in Denerim that say, "Come see our monorail."
Fair. Yes. So would it be safe to say that you get maybe an eclectic range of people there?
Yeah, absolutely. it's definitely like not without its criminal underbelly, but it's also got a lot of people coming in either because there's good places to stay here and it's safe within the city walls when they're like on their way to deliver goods from one end of Ferelden to the other. And that can be anybody from like poor farmers to wealthy merchants. And you've also got a lot of people who are here to, here because they want to come to Southreach to rest and relax and lose a lot of money, as well as, your standard workers, entertainers, people who live in or near Southreach and make their money off of the people coming in.
Mm.
Also entertainers, but like with air quotes.
Oh. Felice is going to point out the city. You get all sorts over there in Southreach. We might find a rift mage.
Ray, still not really sure whether the fade exists or not. Still pretty on that it doesn't exist, but willing to let this train of thought continue. Doesn't want to put a damper on your idea. Kind of nods. Seems willing to go into the city.
Felice glances at, Andrea's AFK, but she glances at Nerl and Desmond.
Desmond shrugs and says, I suggested the Rift Mage.
I know, I'm saying that's where we might find one.
And I'm saying I think that that's a good train of thought.
Alright then. And she is going to steer Sable in the direction of Southreach.
Sick. City party!
All right. As you get closer to the city, you see that around the area in corners and intersections, places that people would pass by frequently, there is like a scrolling hologram type deal that shows you news, advertisements, entertainment, a little bit of everything, whatever people have paid to put up. Do you want to stop and watch it for a while, or do you want to keep going?
Felice is gonna, watch it as they go past, but she probably won't stop the cart unless someone asks her to.
All right, roll luck.
Oh no. Haha, no. That's a 9.
You tried real hard.
All right. Come visit the historic Kirkwall Resort. Forget your cares, ride the dragon, and enjoy fun for the whole family. And there's a picture of like a roller coaster. It zooms in on people having fun. It seems to be a very generic amusement park advertisement. The only thing of note about it is that it is advertising its location as being in Kirkwall. And as far as you are aware, Kirkwall just like ceased to exist after the apocalypse. Like they said the veil was so thin there to begin with that demons just tore up the whole city when the apocalypse went down. So like it's weird that that ad is still on there, but that's all you got.
Felice just looks askance at it and goes back to focusing on the road.
All right. Everything is so fine. You did not miss anything important.
Good.
Can I also look at the screen?
That's what was on when you went by. If you think of an in-character reason to insist on stopping and watching the hologram.
Well, there's also the fact that Felice doesn't have to stop for Ray to stop. Ray isn't in the cart.
That's true. Okay, if you think of an in-character reason that you would like stop and watch this hologram, like is that something that like fascinates you, or are you trying to stay with the party?
Honestly, I can't think of an in-character reason for Ray to stop and look at the hologram. Like, I feel like she's seen holograms before. She's lived a while. Although she doesn't spend a lot of time in the cities.
The question here is Ray going full tourist?
Ooh.
Like, looking at all the neat things. Ooh.
Maybe Ray would go full tourist. I was just thinking, like, she's been around for a long time, but also she, like, spent a lot of that time underground herding Brontos. So I think she probably would look at, like, all the interesting, cool stuff. Because she's never been to this city before. And has no concerns about catching up with the group, speed-wise, at least.
All right, yeah, I buy that. All right, if you're gonna sit and watch for like a full hologram cycle, I'm not gonna make you roll luck or anything because like it's just on a loop. It was just a matter of like if they happen to be walking past at the right time. So you see a recruitment advertisement for the Templars, and then you see another one for the NAO, and then right on the heels of those two, there's a third one telling people to join the Qune. All of them promising more or less the same thing. By the time you get to the third one, the ads are kind of blurring together. It's all like, change your life, live with purpose, join the, and then a picture of someone in like heavy armor doing something dramatic with soaring music. It's boring, which is what makes what comes after it all the more interesting. There's a scroll that reads, and I mean, it's like scrolling through the air. It's a hologram, it's floating, but it reads community announcements. And then you get some stuff about like general street regulations. Don't carry an ice cream cone in your back pocket. It's still illegal here. And then you see a message that says, wanted for violent crimes, Marie Lunellis. And you see a full body hologram of Valise.
I'm sorry, what was the name again?
Nice. It's pronounced Mary, by the way.
Oh, Mary Lunellis. I sat there and I was like, is it Mary? Is it Marie? It's Mary Lunellis. Deli, you're already putting that in the chat?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wanted for what, violent crimes?
Yeah, it says violent crimes, and in like the details section, it says assault of an officer.
He had it coming.
Sick. Thank you.
He had it coming.
May I point out, this is my bad because I don't think I ever specifically said to you, Hannah, but one of the reasons that Valise has a disguise kit is she has a different disguise for each of her personas.
Oh, you did tell me that. All right, so tell me about Mary Lunellis.
I hadn't 100% decided, but let's go ahead and say she wears the wig, so she has long brown hair, a green kerchief tying her hair back of her, a green kerchief just kind of starting at the forehead and going over the top of her head. And yeah, I'm gonna say she also wears very vivid red lipstick in that disguise. So I guess I'm very slightly going for an Isabella vibe with that particular one.
Valid. Who doesn't want to go for an Isabella vibe, honestly?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, Ray, you've traveled with Valise, and that's like enough of a disguise if you don't happen to know Valise. But this is a very good image. This is something that it looks like someone reconstructed from like a security camera. You can tell standing right next to the hologram, this is Valise. Whether or not anyone else will be able to tell is going to be a matter of, luck.
Fair.
But I
Lots
definitely
of luck
haven't
rolls
been
today,
here.
apparently.
But I haven't been here before, right?
Yeah, you have not been to this specific city before, which makes this all the more annoying.
Oh boy. No, I'm excited. This is great. I mean, it's not from an in-character point of view, but I'm loving this out of character.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Okay.
The best part is you still don't know. Ray dropped behind the cart.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to rush, but not in a noticeable way. Like just a golem strolling, got business to do, but not like, serious, important, holy shit business, but like, chill business, but like, I really got to get where I'm going business,
I love Ray.
You just said so many contradictory things, but okay. Also, you saying the actual word golem reminded me, you also saw a recruitment advertisement for the Legion of the Dead.
Sick.
Not that that's like especially interesting. It's not plot relevant. I was just like, oh yeah, them too.
Fair. Okay. Can I catch up to the cart with no issues?
Honestly, yeah. Like unless the cart has like turned off the main drag for some reason, you can catch up.
She's just still going forward.
Is there like a blanket in the cart?
We would have at least one blanket, like for sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, you guys brought like bedrolls and shit. I don't know.
Cool. Ray is going to super casually grab a blanket and just like drop it on top of Elise's head. Like full on blanket over the elf.
She pulls on the reins to make Sable stop since she is the one driving.
A bystander points and says, "Hey, they're trying to kidnap that cart driver."
Oh my god.
No.
No, she looked very cold.
Yes. Brr. And she kind of huddles in the blanket while also kind of lifting up the blanket a little so she can see, and she looks at Ray and whispers, What? What the hell?
I'm sorry, Ali said that while I was choking on water. I was drinking it, but then she said that was the excuse she chose to go with, and I choked on water. And Ali, I'm gonna make you roll a speech for that. Like I wasn't gonna, but man, that was bad.
Can I give her assistance because I'm playing along?
Please.
Yeah, you can give her assistance.
How does that work in this system?
Okay.
Does she roll with advantage or do I roll as well?
I actually don't have a codified way of doing it.
How would you like me to do it for this particular instance?
I'm gonna say for this particular instance, she can do it with advantage.
Cool.
I got a 21.
All right. The bystander doesn't appear to be like screaming, but kind of looks skeptical and turns to Valise, who they have still not gotten a good look at because there is a blanket over her head. And they say, "Are you all right, ma'am? You're not actually being kidnapped, are you?"
No, I'm fine. This is a friend of mine and I am a bit chilly.
All right.
Thank you for your concern, though.
Have a good day. And they kind of disperse. Because I don't have a plan for if you had failed that real hard, you would have gotten arrested or something. I don't know.
Fair.
She looks back at Ray again. Seriously, though, what the hell?
Ray kind of like sticks a really big stony finger to her nose and leans down and whispers, "Did you punch a cop?"
What? Over the course of my entire life? Several times. Why?
There's a hollow that says you punched a cop, and they're not happy about it.
But I didn't punch anyone here. I've never been here before.
It's a really good hologram.
What? And Valise is actually going to... She's going to hop down and she bundles herself up more in the blanket, realizes that looks really, really damn conspicuous, and...
Ray is trying her best.
Takes off the blanket. Can I just put on a quick cape with a hood or something?
Yeah, that's fine. You've got the disguise kit plus the suitcase of endless wonder. Like, sure.
She puts on a cloak, pulls up the hood, and walks over nonchalantly to the hologram, like her friend has just pointed out something interesting on the hologram, like, oh, I didn't realize that that's what they were advertising. Let me go take a look.
Oh yes, look, they are advertising for the Legion of the Dead. You are frail. Perhaps you should consider it.
Yeah, she's going to look with kind of touristy sort of interest at, oh, look at all the things there. Yeah, that's the Templars. Yeah, that's fine. They should be recruiting. That's great. And yeah, she's going to keep watching.
I love the hatred in your voice just now.
What? No,
That's
Templars
great.
are fine. Nothing wrong with Templars.
Is anyone else having any reaction to Valise's cop punching escapades or...
Desmond is just kind of watching.
Ray was speaking pretty quietly. Like, she was pretty loud in other things, but like in this instant, she was like, oh yes, we need subtlety. I will hurl a blanket over my companion's head and then whisper the problem.
She tries.
She does her best.
Toronto herding is not a very sneaky profession.
She did manage to whisper, though, and for that we are proud of her.
Thank you.
All right, yeah. The hologram scrolls back through. You see everything Ray saw. There's some stuff after your image to a couple of other, like, petty criminals. Just, some more stuff.
Anyone I recognize?
I'm going to say no. It's mostly people that are wanted, like, in Southreach exclusively, and maybe one or two people up there with you who are wanted in a wider area for, say, homicide or assaulting Templars or...
Yeah, I'm assuming when they kind of say assaulting an officer, that means Templars.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it would be for Templars, especially in your case. But yeah, most of Ferelden order is kept by Templars, at least at some level. So generally, if they say officer without specifying, that'll be who they mean.
Cool. Okay. So we haven't gone too in depth as to Felice's personas, but would she remember anything that she did as Mary Lunellis that would stand out to her as warranting this widespread wanted poster?
I will definitely leave that up to you.
Fair.
Honestly, this was a random event that got rolled last session.
Oh wow, okay.
But it's like I have a couple of random events that are like the next time the party camps or like the next town they go to. Although this one is nice because Southreach is a very modern city, so I don't have to explain why some teeny tiny podunk town has like holograms or wanted posters. But yeah, so to a certain extent, I want to leave that sort of a blank space for you to write your own backstory. But if you'd like me to come up with stuff, I most certainly can.
I will let you know. What I'll likely do is come up with what happened and have you let me know if that's acceptable.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool.
This is less about you resolving whatever that plot is and more about me making your life extra difficult right now.
Thank you, DM.
Love you.
Felice returns to the cart and very casually hops back up on the seat and gathers up the reins and says to Ray, yeah, they are hiring a lot of people right now. We'll have to keep that in mind.
Ray nods enthusiastically.
A golem trundling by with what looks like about 80 or 90 pounds of MREs on their shoulders gives Ray a quick salute and then says, "You should join up. You can serve and protect forever," and then keeps walking.
Good.
Felice is going to keep driving the cart, but she leans over to Ray and the others and says quite quietly, but loud enough for, the whole cart to hear, "We might need to talk. Shall we look for a place to stop?"
Ray nods and looks to see if there's any, nice looking inns that have big doors and sturdy chairs.
All right. Ray, this city does have a little bit more of a legion presence than some of the other cities you've been to have had, so they're very equipped for golems. It's still nominally run by the Templars, but this is a much more cosmopolitan place, and the factions are represented a lot more equally here than they are in other locations. You see, I wouldn't call them inns per se. You see several hotels that seem to have casinos attached. You see a couple bars. You see various and sundry dark alleys, because, there are dark alleys. And you see towards the end of the road a big town square with a fountain with like a giant mega version of the hologram floating above it.
Maybe we avoid that one.
Yeah.
Felice just nods.
Yes. So as far as like inn and casino choices go, I forgot to come up with names when I was doing my prep. So everybody roll streetwise.
So I'm not saying I rolled a nat 20, but I am saying that. I'm saying exactly that.
And Felice takes the lead, leaving everyone else in the dust.
All right. Neural, you continue to be amazed at the largeness of the buildings and how many people there are.
Neural trying his
Felice,
best.
Yeah, you see. Well, I mean, I'm going to give you options more than I am going to tell you which one is best.
Cool.
Yeah, I have definitely drawn a blank on actually naming these places, but there are a couple of like hotel casino things competing with one another. You see that there's one that's like it's got Templars stationed outside. You're pretty sure it's like Templar run.
So not that one.
Yeah, probably not that one. That's not a great one. There's another that similarly kind of looks like it's run by the Kunari, and that one has some robots stationed outside. And there's one that it's a little more subtle than the others were, looks pretty nondescript, but you see a lot of uniformed NAO people walking in and out.
That's the new Andrastrian order, right?
Yeah.
Okay. From
And
oh, sorry, there's more. Go ahead.
yeah. And there's a place right at the corner to the town square that has golems guarding the outside. And those are pretty much your four like major options.
Okay. From my experience, have I had any run-ins with the Coon or the Legion of the Dead or the... My mind's gone blank. What was the other one that wasn't the Templars?
The
NAO.
new Andrastian Order?
Yes.
All right. All three of them are in some way in direct competition with the Templars. The new Andrastian Order is the only major faction that allows and encourages mages to sign up and like treats them as full soldiers.
Okay.
The Qun has relaxed their policies on mages somewhat since the Dragon Age, but they're still like second class citizens, sort of. But the advantage of going in there would be that most Qunari, rightly or wrongly, think that non Qunari look pretty much the same. And generally, if they haven't grown up around a lot of people of other races, they aren't going to be great at spotting people in a crowd.
Leaning Kunari right now, then.
Yeah. And the Legion of the Dead, you probably don't know as much about. They don't have a big presence in Denerim, but that would be the same golem that gave you that rocket launcher was Legion of the Dead. They're known as being very hospitable, and they will accept absolutely anyone into their ranks, regardless of any past crimes whatsoever. But that doesn't necessarily mean that their casinos will be quite so welcoming.
Okay, so they're all kind of casino, hotel type dealies.
Yeah, all of them appear to have a casino at either the bottom or top floor and various lodging rooms in between.
Nice. Valise is going to head in the direction of the Kuhn location. She's gonna like vaguely like glance at the others, gesture in the direction she's planning to head, and then start driving that way.
Ray nods and comes along.
All right, the Kunari woman at the door stops you briefly and says, "Credit check. Do you have coins?"
Valise proffers her pouch.
She kind of glances in and then she says, "Distasteful, but necessary. Welcome.
Thanks, hoping to change our luck around.
Aren't we all?" And she hands you a pamphlet.
Is it about the Kuhn?
Oh, it's about joining the queue.
Good.
Good.
Is there somewhere we can put Sable in the cart?
If you buy a room, yes.
Dang. I don't really want to leave Sable by himself out here.
Do they have a stable?
They have a private stable for people who buy rooms.
She's gonna ask how much a room is.
Real talk, how much money do you guys have left? I have not been keeping track.
I have 17 blue left.
I got, I think, 25. Let me check. Sorry, 22. I bought an axle.
All right. She's going to say 15 blue lyres. And roll, I guess, either streetwise or gambling.
I'm gonna roll streetwise.
Is that for all of us or just for Dally?
Yeah, you all heard the price. It's about figuring out whether or not the price is fair.
So we can all roll?
Yep.
22 for me.
26. 25.
All right. Let's see. Valise, you know that price would be steep in Denerim, but you also know that Southreach is like you can just look around and see that this is a little fancier, has a little bit higher cost of living. It seems okay-ish. Neural, 15 is a good number. And Desmond, you're again not totally certain of how mortal money works, but you've kind of started to get the hang of it, and you know wealth when you see it. You know you're not really gonna get a better deal here.
Felice is going to look down in her coin purse and look up at the security woman, and this probably isn't going to work, but just for the hell of it, she's gonna sigh a little sadly. Damn, I was hoping to have a bit more capital to start with so I could rack something up a bit quickly. You know how it is, you want to go in, win some money at the tables, find a cute guard to take to dinner.
Can I help Dally with this?
No, you may not help. She's trying to seduce the guard. Roll.
How do you help with that?
Can I not be a wingman? Please, please.
Roll strength to throw Felice at the guard.
Okay.
And
All right. I will let you roll for this, but Allie, I will let you roll to assist, but if you roll poorly, it will hurt her.
What would I be rolling?
Oh god.
What are you gonna do? I mean, I would assume it would be speech.
Yes, I want to say something like, R.I.P. My speech is terrible.
No seduction for me today.
Police, do you want some help?
Felice doesn't particularly need help.
Alright, then I'll stand back.
She has a plus 19 for seducing people.
Yeah, okay, you're good. You don't need me.
Okay.
I'd just be a detriment.
Roll for
Can I
seduction.
slip Felice my horn real quick?
Excuse me, what?
Does that make Valise?
You may blow the horn.
Okay. I'm going to
I will let you blow the
in a
horn.
romantic fashion behind Valise.
Dear God. Well,
That gives you a
I
plus
did
2,
have a 32,
Felice.
but
That would be a 34 now.
All right.
Thanks to my horn blowing.
thank
You're
you.
welcome.
I'm sure I couldn't have done
Oh
it
my
without
God.
you.
I would like to remind everyone that she has just used the Druffalo horn,
No.
which, quote, makes things with horns really like you.
Oh
You're
no.
welcome.
Oh no.
All
You're
right.
cock blocking me.
All right.
No, I'm helping because they see that I am such a charming companion. They know that you are a better person because you are in my presence.
Would anyone like to hear the outcome of the roll?
I'm not sure anymore, but okay.
Desperately.
Okay, you blow the Druffalo horn, and as Dirthara told you would happen, no actual sound that is audible to your ears comes out. But the guard kind of shakes her head for a minute, like she heard something like high pitched, and then she turns to Valise, and you can see this very faint blush kind of coloring her gray skin, and she says, wealth and avarice are diseases which the world must be cured of anyways. Money is distasteful. You may have the room as you clearly need it. And
Thank
if you
you.
require eating later, I would be happy to
You can eat me.
accompany you. She's a lady. You have to take her to dinner first. That's for dessert.
Felice smiles a little. And what's your name so I can look for you later?
Cassandra.
Beautiful. I'll see you in a bit.
Now I have to write her down on my NPC sheet.
Sorry.
Girl is confused about what is going on.
Nerl is young. They do not yet know the ways of romance. Or,
How old
yeah.
is Nerl?
I mean, in
Question
terms of memory, just a few days. Sorry, Andrea, what did you actually say?
Question mark.
Fair.
Good.
Felice goes inside, and can we take Sable to the stable and then go inside?
Yes, you may take Sable to the stable with a wallet in your pocket.
Good.
Nice. As they're doing that, she turns to Ray and says, "I don't know what you did, but I think do it more."
Ray grins and nods. I would be happy to assist you in your further romantic escapades.
Well, we'll see how it goes later. Anyway, we need to get upstairs to the room. I guess I need to fill you all in just one or two things.
All right, Cassandra has cleared you with the desk person, and so you all receive a very nice, like, hotel key, and you're in room 487. It's got a couple of, like, double beds. I mean, it looks like a nice, what we would think of as a pretty nice hotel room now.
Noted.
Soft duvets. If you open the bedside drawer, you find a little pocket copy of the Word of Coulson. Coslin? I think it's Coslin, actually.
Nice. Once everyone is inside, Felice shuts the door, makes sure the windows are shut, and even then she's going to speak quite quietly. Okay, so there's no real dancing around the issue. Ray saw a wanted poster of me, so I should just let you know I am wanted by the Templars.
Oh, well.
Hammer.
Good job.
Oh, thanks. Any questions?
How
No,
hard did you punch the
Has
Templar?
begun.
Sorry, what's that, Andrea?
Girl has begun to jump on the bed.
Oh, bless him, he's having fun. Well, I can't know for sure. I have punched a number of Templars. I have, stabbed and shot a few of them as well. What I'm guessing...
Yeah, it was probably the stabbing or the shooting that did this. Just throwing that out there.
What I'm guessing they specifically want, she uses quotation marks, Mary Lunellis for, would be maybe slightly shooting a knight commander in the back.
Well, did he deserve it?
He's a Templar, all Templars deserve it.
Well, then that's settled.
More
Ray
specifically...
pats Felice on the head.
Thank you. More specifically, there was a child he was trying to take away, they were trying to take away from her family. I basically just created a distraction so the family could get away.
Ah, then even better job.
I mean, I'm hoping that this doesn't cause any problems. I mean, she looks around at the rest of them. I tend to operate under the belief that most decent people already know that the Templar are scum.
I'm from very far away.
You're not familiar with the Templars?
Not particularly.
Girl does not know who these Templars are.
Well, that makes sense, I suppose, Nerl, if you don't have a memory. Desmond, how far away are you from?
It's a long story.
Neural sits down, looking at Desmond as if they're waiting to hear the story.
Desmond just stares at Neural. May I help you?
I think we're possibly waiting to find out how you got to Ferelden.
Through a rift portal.
Dogmeat sits down and looks expectant too.
Good.
Are you kidding me?
So you've travelled through rift portals before.
Yes, which is how I thought of the suggestion.
So you know rift mages, or at least one.
Well, not exactly.
Not exactly.
The portal was an accident.
Oh.
This is delicious. I didn't even
How-
talk you into this. You created this tangle all on your own.
How does one create a portal by accident?
They just appear sometimes.
Can I roll some kind of...
Yeah,
Roll
can
for
we
bullshit.
roll something?
Everyone roll enchantment, I beg you. Allie, roll with like a -4 because you don't think the fate is real.
Hannah, I'm gonna roll infiltration.
6.
I think this would actually be speech more than infiltration because you're like,
Yeah, but the nipple tassels, though.
oh, you haven't rolled for that today. Also, did you work out this week?
Yes, I did, and I have the bug bite on my nipple to prove it.
Excellent.
What?
Roll for nipple tassels and also roll a d10.
Oh my goodness, we are all rolling super low, but the important thing is... Oh no, wait, that's your d10 roll.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, we all got above Desmond.
If Desmond rolls above 12, then... Oh no, wait, it's an enchantment.
That's
it's
not quite how this is going because you guys are
No,
rolling to see if you
no.
know how the fade actually
Yeah, no,
works.
we're rolling enchantment, not insight. Yeah.
Oh, that is a nat 2!
And yet you still got a 17.
Yeah, but I'm gonna make everybody roll perception for that. That's gettable right there.
Yeah, 21.
10.
19.
Desmond just kind of tugs nervously on his shirt.
Oh my god, Desmond.
Valise and Ray, when Desmond tugs on his shirt, you see this like flash of something shiny underneath it that you are certain you have never seen before on Desmond.
The hell's your
New
stupid thing?
headcanon, Desmond loses his disguise when he gets nervous and
Oh my
flustered.
God.
I love that. Also, if you happen to be fidgeting with do you happen to be fidgeting like with the bed or the comforter or anything?
Sure, why not?
All right, your hand bumps into something, and while you're talking, you discover that the previous occupant of this room decided to keep a canister of jet nice and snugly under their pillow so no one would take it. And now you have it because they forgot about it because they were on drugs.
Valid.
Congratulations on working out this week. Have some drugs.
Oh my god.
Have some drugs.
So we can see the nipple chain.
You see a flash from inside his shirt as he's trying to cover himself.
Yeah,
Desmond? What the hell is in your shirt?
Are you wearing armor underneath your clothing?
Yes.
Surely you know that armor should be worn on the outside of the clothing to protect your cloth.
I'm sorry, that bothered me so much in Lord of the Rings. Both Frodo and Bilbo at various points had on this fucking shirt that was made of chainmail, but it was under all their other shit
But
so
it
they
was-
could pull it open like it was a bulletproof vest. I'm sorry, that's off topic. It just still makes me
But
angry.
it's
mithril.
mithril. It's light as a feather, so it makes
It's
sense to.
still cold on your nipples, and it could pinch.
I don't know, if it's elven, it's probably like nice and room temperature and magically not gonna chafe and but yeah, the main reason that they wore it under their shirts was so that they could have the dramatic reveal that nope, I haven't been stabbed. Spoilers.
Good.
Anyways, back to Desmond's web of lies falling apart before your eyes.
I love how Valise brought them up here to talk about her backstory and then this has happened.
I'm sorry, I didn't
No.
mean for this to-
I am not complaining, this is delicious.
This is
I love it.
delicious.
Ray is going to clap Desmond on the shoulder and say, you know, it really is much, much better to keep your armor on the outside.
Yes, but this way people don't know I'm wearing armor and they underestimate me.
You feel a nudge on your back.
What is it, Neural?
Neural is poking you with his hammer.
What are you doing?
Neural is trying to get Desmond's shirt off so it doesn't have armor on the correct side.
Excuse me,
Neural continues to try to get your shirt off with his hammer.
would someone please tell Neural not to violate my personal space?
Valise is going to get a little smirk on her face, crouch down next to Nerl and whisper something in his ear, which I will PM to Andrea.
Oh, damn it.
Felice, I think out of everyone, your backstory lends you to be the most likely to recognize someone with nipple chains.
As in, I would realize what that means, or I just see that shit a lot?
No, I don't think you necessarily realize what it means. I just think you've probably seen them in like a sex context before.
Yep.
Neural hesitates for a moment, just kind of looks at Elise for a second,
She winks at him.
slowly hands over the hammer.
She takes the hammer, places it down next to the bed, and beckons to Desmond. Come here a second.
I'd rather not.
What you scared of?
This entire situation.
She moves a couple footsteps closer.
He steps back.
The back of his knees hit the bed.
What are you
Damn it.
hiding?
My own personal business.
Oh. Yeah, Valise is gonna see that he's really uncomfortable and she's gonna back off. It's not actually armor, is it?
I don't know what it is.
How do you not know what's under your own shirt?
I'm going to pause here and request that we not take this in a weird, dark direction where we end up with the only possible interpretation of this being that Desmond had nipple piercings as like a small child and somehow grew up with them.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna go in that direction, but I'm glad that we've established that.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No.
maybe it was just me, but like that was the
No.
logical conclusion I saw from where we were headed.
No, I did not think of that.
Okay,
Don't
I'm
think
sorry that I foisted that thought on all of you then.
No,
And
my
I
thought was
apologize.
that he got it done while he was drunk and was embarrassed about it.
Yeah, that's better. Anyways, carry on. Apologies.
But Felice is, not forcing the issue too much because Desmond is clearly uncomfortable. She's just like, what's going on? I'm not gonna make you take your shirt off, but what? Desmond, whatever's going on with your whole, she waves her hand, deal, do we need to be worried? Like, more or less worried than the whole wanted by the Templars thing?
he considers. I wouldn't say so.
That's a very specific way of putting it there, darling.
I believe you had something to tell us.
Yes. Templars are fucking bastards, and I fuck them up whenever I can get away with it.
Fair. Valid.
And that's why I have so many disguises on me. I try not to be the same person for too long. Valise is my real name, but I have some aliases. I've just been sticking with who I am at the moment because, well, I'm travelling with three very distinctive people. There's not really any point in changing what I look like.
Why?
Who? Plo, how did you get in here?
Hannah will.
Oh, Hannah. Asking where Plo is.
I'm just saying, like we've had several moments of backstories being skirted around here.
Hey, they don't, it doesn't have to come out yet. We're only, 6 sessions in, something like that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm fine with waiting. I just I didn't think we were gonna get this close.
Anyway,
loving
though it does pose some risk. Honestly, I've been fairly good about covering my tracks. They've never caught me yet. They've tried a lot, but
Andrea, is Neural actually doing that?
Yeah,
What do you want?
Neural wants to help.
Nerl, he's not actually wearing armor. It's something he's not comfortable with, so we should leave it be.
Neural sets down the hammer again and goes back to Swarm.
Good, Nerl. So, yeah, basically, if there's a giant holograph with my face on it, we should probably be fairly discreet, but I'm guessing we're probably going to be pretty discreet anyway, given that we're following a murderous cult who have stolen a ancient artifact for reasons unknown.
Ray gives a double thumbs up and says, discreet is one of my middle names.
Is another one of them by any chance not?
Maybe. You don't know.
No, and you have been very helpful so far. Listen, I just wanted to come to a private place to just let you know what's going on. I suppose I should maybe let you know if we're going to be traveling together. My other aliases, other than Mary Lunellis, I also go by Aletha Leolan and Arave Norlath. So, if you hear those names, surprise, that's me too.
Ray nods and says she'll keep an ear out.
Well, if that's everything, what time of day is it again, Hannah? Was it like quite early?
Yeah, I think this has taken a while, so I'm going to say it is now exactly noon.
Okay, can I make a proposition for what we do next? While we're in Southreach, I think I should keep a low profile. If I get caught, if I get taken in, that's going to add God knows how long to our journey while I escape. How would the rest of you feel about scoping out the town, seeing if you can find any rift mages? I'll stay here.
Ray nods.
I can maybe see what kind of information I can pick up about the place from hanging around the casino. And I've still got to take Cassandra to dinner.
Sounds good.
Neural, Desmond, any thoughts?
Daryl has gotten up and is heading towards the door.
Well, I guess Neural's on board.
Desmond sighs heavily.
Something on your mind, Desmond?
No, just he gestures at Neural. A little eager.
Yeah, but there are worse things to be in. He'll come down. We just have to keep establishing firm boundaries with him.
I suppose.
You know, you're pretty capable of handling yourself. If Ray sticks with Neural, you could always scope out the place on your own. Get you a little air from, overly inquisitive dwarves. Or, stay here with me and scope out the casino.
Desmond thinks carefully for a few minutes.
Sit at the table next to her while she's on her date, but like wearing a bad mustache and like glancing conspicuously over your menu.
Oh my god. And then you just catch a glint of something under his shirt.
So I was on team go look for a rift mage, correct?
Yes. I was figuring, up to you guys, obviously, but I was figuring that Ray and Neural might stick together.
Sounds
Daryl
like
is
me.
not entirely sure what we're looking for.
Ray doesn't believe in what we're looking for, but will do her best.
I may have made an error in judgment.
It's too late
No,
now.
this is fantastic.
Look, I just think it's a bad idea for Valise to leave the casino right now, where she's wanted in this city.
No, this is
This
the
is
best
great.
possible outcome.
This is terrific. This is so much better than anything I could have planned. Okay, so are you guys splitting up?
I
Nerva
think
has
so.
already left.
I typed
Great.
I am enjoying Desmond's inner monologue. Which way does he swing?
I think we've established that he swings in all directions.
True.
It's a tire swing.
An entire swing.
Mm,
Desmond sighs, and he says, I suppose I should go with them.
I'd appreciate that. I'm sorry I'm not coming too, but I really think it's a bad idea for me to go out there. I don't want to draw too much attention to myself.
That's fair.
All right. Shall we go?
All right, you guys set off down the elevator probably, and you make it out to the casino floor. It is very shiny, full of lots of bright lights and clanging noises. Then you head out into the street, and Cassandra and her compatriot are still on shift because it didn't take all that long. And I'm going to need you guys to roll streetwise.
All right.
While they're doing that, Dally, is Valise doing anything while she's hanging out in the casino?
She is going to keep an ear open for general gossip about the place, try to get a better read on it, and just how close an eye the Templars have on any given place in Southreach, or how tight a hold they have on the city as a whole.
Okay, so I'm assuming you're going down to like the casino bar, or are you gonna like
No.
join a game, or?
She's going to go down to the bar and she is going to order a drink because she really needs one.
All right. Subtract like 5 red liars. I don't know.
Thank you.
Neural got distracted on the way out because you said shiny.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it instead of just saying you guys leave. So is Neural gambling?
Neural is gambling everything he owns. Not all at once, but slowly but surely.
All right. You go to the first table and put God knows what down, and they direct you to the chips window.
Neural goes to the chips.
All right. What are you putting down to exchange?
Basically the stamina solution, the pepper grinder, and the remaining 5 blue liars he has.
All right. I'm going to say you get 10 chips for that. Oh, no, you said the stamina solution, right?
Yep.
All right. I'll give you, let's say, 60.
Okay.
All right. You have 60 chips. Your choices are blackjack, craps, a roulette wheel that's very shiny, and poker. They're playing for Reldon Hold'em.
We're going to roulette.
All right, excellent, because I don't know how any of the others except blackjack are played. I tried to learn the rules for craps one time, and I think I actually came out knowing less about craps than I did when I started learning the rules.
Craps is complicated.
Yeah. So the guy spinning the wheel is also a big Kunari, and it's at this time of day there's not a ton of people in the casino, but it's not deserted. And he says, "Try your luck." So you can do a specific number, or you can do betting on red or black, or you can bet on multiple numbers. What does an Earl do?
Hang on, I need to roll a d2. Okay, so Neural decided he's going to be smart.
Okay.
Neural is going to put, he said 60 chips, so Neural is going to put 5 on 3, 5 on 7, 5 on 10.
All right. I will remind you that the numbers go up to 100.
Got how roulette works. Okay.
The numbers go up to 100. Half are red, half are black.
I'm going to change the 3 to 13. 10 is going to be 50. I'm going to add an extra 5 on 66 and 42.
All right. Read me those numbers back one more time.
5 on 7, 13, 42, 50, 66.
Okay. I think the way we're going to do this here is you have 1 to 100 odds, which I don't think is what they actually do in the casino, on each of the individual numbers. I want you to roll gambling and roll a D100. Whatever you get on gambling, if the D100 is within that range, it counts as if it had landed on your number because you have beginner's luck. So, like, if you roll a 20 on gambling and you roll an 86 on the D100, you can subtract that 20 and get it to 66.
Okay. This is how it would work in real life, wouldn't it?
All right. Within 15 of 6, you put a 7 and a 13. So it lands on the 7. And the guy kind of raises his eyebrows because you're not supposed to win fucking roulette. And he hands you 500 chips.
Yes!
Good.
We love Neural.
All right, Valise, you said you were looking out for like gossip and stuff?
Yes, please. While sipping
Okay.
on my whatever the drink they have here is. I imagine it's something a bit like a martini.
Yeah, whatever you want to order, they've got it. That's how it works. There are signs everywhere telling you it's like a chem-free hotel. but you are totally, like, in any drink you want, they will have it, and they will make it perfectly.
I like them.
Yeah. So, as you're sipping on your martini, again, it's like noonish, but also there are a lot of people who are like here to party and be on vacation. So there's a few other people in the bar. There's an older human man who's ordering a lot of cosmopolitans, and every time he orders one, he kind of giggles and gets very excited when the drink comes out to him. There's two elven women chatting quietly in a corner, and there's a couple of Kunari talking with the bartender and chatting kind of amiably. They look like they're probably like workers from somewhere else in the hotel that are on break.
I'm gonna eavesdrop on the Kunari.
All right. They start out just I'm sorry, what are your goals again for like what you want to find out?
It's mostly because she's not getting out and helping by actually looking through the city. She is keeping an ear open for anything about mages, but she's guessing that she's not going to have a lot of luck with that. So she is also listening out to hear what like security in the city is like, what factions have the best control over it, especially how sizable the Templar presence is, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Mages and Templars, those are the main things she's listening out for.
Yeah. The Kunari are on break. It sounds like they're bouncers or guards, like Cassandra is, but like for somewhere more internal in the hotel, maybe the casino floor. They start complaining about a drunk they had to boot out at like 9 in the morning. It sounds like he puked on one of their shoes.
Okay.
And the bartender comes out with like a plate of fried chicken for them. It looks decidedly off menu, but he's being kind of comforting because they had a crappy day. And as he's talking to them, the conversation sort of shifts to complaints about their boss.
Ooh.
And it sounds like there's some kind of weird, like, quota for how many people you have to get invested in the Qun in a given, like, week or month. And you get pay bonuses if you get someone to convert or come to a meeting. The boss in question is kind of like a hard ass about it. And you hear one of them say, "This is a fucking casino. How are we supposed to get them to reject greed and vice?" And the other one kind of laughs and says, "Well, at least we're not recruiting for the Templars."
Whoop. Felice is going to set down her drink, which she has now finished, and she is going to wave over the bartender and say, "Could I get another one of these? Oh, and a refill for these two." Are they men, women, both?
I'm going to say these two are both men.
For these two gentlemen as well. They sound like they've had a pretty rough day of it.
The bartender kind of smiles at you. And I definitely forgot when I charged you the first time that this is a fucking casino. And they don't generally charge you for drinks there because they want you to be drunk. So put your 5 liars back.
Oh, nice. I guess the gesture of buying them a drink doesn't mean terribly much then.
Yeah, I mean, he smiles very warmly at you, and he brings a round of drinks over to the two Kunari. And they grin and they stand up and they bring their stuff over to kind of sit next to you, like just next to you, not in like a creepy way where they're surrounding you.
We're hanging out. She grins at them and says, "Are we talking about crappy bosses today?"
Aren't we always?
Because let me tell you, when I used to work for the Templars over near Denerim, dear God, are they a nightmare over here as well?
Over here, they're more of a joke. I mean, sure, they say they run things, but like the only thing that runs things in Southreach is money.
Yeah, I guess that
something
makes sense.
Our boss doesn't really get either.
Yeah,
The
tell me
glory
about
of the
it.
Cune. And he takes a drink.
I mean, you could maybe preach to get people converted when they've lost all their money, because then what else is there to lose, right? Oh well, I'm afraid this is what greed and avarice gets you in the end. Material things are just gonna leave you dry, but the Cune, that's forever. Am I right?
The one who's been a little quieter so far kind of laughs and says, That's funny. I'll try that next time.
Yeah, worth a try, especially if they had a bit to drink.
Yeah, I had a guy that agreed to go to a meeting drunk, sobered up right in the middle of them preaching the glory to Coslin. I've never seen anybody run faster.
Oh man, that sounds like a riot. It must be pretty tough station in a place as commercial as this and trying to recruit.
Eh, well, I'm not totally lapsed, but I'm a little more open-minded than, let's say I'm more open-minded than my Tama really wanted me to be.
It happens, but we could all use a little more open-mindedness in the world. Helps us get to communicate and help each other out better. So, I saw hollow ads recruiting for like all the different factions. Like, how do you manage to do that? Or I guess, how do you all try to do recruiting? Is it just generally coming up to people and giving them a spiel? Is it the same for all the factions? I'm just curious.
At this point, I'm going to make you roll speech because you're kind of pressing them for this information.
Fair. Yeah, my speech is still the same, obviously.
I love this image of Desmond, like, looking up and, like, turning around, going, like, somewhere there's something that I could do so much better than them. Like, for no reason, just like I know that someone's managing this poorly and I could fix it.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that was at 19.
Oh, thank you. They sort of shrug and they say, well, I mean, we're supposed to recruit people when they're down on their luck, but like there's only so much of that you can really do without feeling sort of dirty.
Yeah, I feel that. Trust me.
Yeah, and the guy says, "Yeah, I try to only recruit people who seem, like they might be interested even if they hadn't just lost all their money."
That's actually really, good of you. It can't be easy being like honest like that when you've got such a hard ass boss. What are they
Yeah,
doing to
well,
what's your boss doing to recruit people, by the way, or are they just giving you a hard time about it?
he kind of snorts and says, "No, trust me. The boss tries to recruit people too.
Oh my
The
god,
boss."
I would love to see that.
Yeah. He says, "I don't know as much about the other people. The Legion of the Dead have an easy time. They're just like, hey, join up. You'll live forever, and we'll give you a rocket launcher."
That's a pretty good
But
sell.
yeah, I mean, like one of my kithmates did it. It's pretty grueling, but they're good to you.
Well, that's pretty good to know. Not enough factions out there actually look out for their own, do they?
He shrugs and says, "The Cune's been good to me. I mean, I'm
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
not too preachy, but
I'm more talking about me. When I was with the Templars, they treated me like shit because I didn't get enough done. Like, I refused to take in a mage once because they were a kid. And, long story short, I'm not a Templar anymore. You want someone who looks after their own, do not look for a Templar.
he kind of wrinkles his nose and he says, "Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, like it would suck to find out you were a Cerebos, but like we try to make sure we don't treat them like total garbage."
Yeah, it's tricky, I know. Fine line to walk between, making sure that the power doesn't get too much for them, but also, making sure you don't treat them like dirt. It's just, it was a
At
kid.
what point in this conversation does Valise throw up in her mouth? Like,
she is very good at lying. And she's had a little bit to drink, which usually helps.
Yeah, he kind of shrugs, and it's very clear to you that he's not like like, he's not totally freaking or anything, but he's not super comfortable around mages, and he's trying to change the subject away from magic.
Fair. In which case, Felice is gonna go, and I mean, what else have the Templars got going for them anyway? I mean, seriously. We never did shit good where I came from.
His friend pipes up and says, laser guns. They've got really nice laser guns.
Okay, that, I'll admit, is a selling point. Wow, she just chuckles to herself. They have laser guns here, and they manage to still be a joke? They must be really inept.
He kind of shrugs and says, I don't think it's ineptitude. I hear they've got a vice grip on Denerim. I just don't think they care about Southreach. Plus, like, a lot of the crime families here have a lot of money. I think the Templars could unseat them if they wanted to, but it'd cost them.
But Southreach only speaks one language, and she rubs her fingers together in the universal money gesture. I get you.
He says, I hear that. And both he and his friend kind of drink, and then they tuck into their chicken. And I think we are going to switch over to Ray and Desmond, who, at this point, you are outside the casino. You are definitely aware that you have lost Neural. Whether or not you choose to do anything about that is up to you. And I see a streetwise roll for Allie. Is the roll above that? Is that Desmond's streetwise roll?
I think so. Would it be okay just because I forget if I rolled again? Just, to be sure.
Yeah, sure. It's crap anyways. All right. You guys kind of look around and get your bearings, and you've come in on kind of a main thoroughfare, and it's very clear that, like, you see some of the most powerful, like, hotels and casinos run by the factions with the most money have parked themselves here. But if you want to get to, like, anything else in town, especially anything run by, like, a smaller group or an individual, you're probably going to want to go, like, into the town square and kind of disperse from there. Because this area is pretty clearly for, like, tourists. The town square, when you get there, you find this big open air bazaar and a couple of streets branching in different directions. There's also, as I mentioned, the big cool fountain with the hologram, but I mean, it's basically just a big cool fountain. There are a couple of people standing around and in the fountain. Some of them are kids just splashing around, having fun. A couple of them seem to be proselytizing various things. Someone's telling you why you should vote Kaminko. There's a Canary there who's very loudly proclaiming the glory of the Cune and the wisdom of Coslin. And there's a couple people busking. It's a very, like, nice, bustling, occasionally weirdly religious place. There's also someone from the Chantry who has set up, like, right next to the Kunari. And further away from the fountain in sort of a circle so that there's a clear area around the fountain are the little marketplaces. And there's a couple clear paths. There's a road called Future Avenue and another one called Silica Way. And there's also a monorail station.
Desmond just kind of looks up at Ray.
All right, I'm going to pick. Is there someone who looks like they would know about this mythical fade?
The chanter is right in front of you. There's also a couple of booths at the bazaar selling, like, enchanted trinkets from beyond the veil.
Oh my god.
With, like, barkers saying something along those lines.
Oh, Desmond's gonna check that out.
All right, I'll take the chanter if you take the charlatans.
All right. You come to the booth that has in big swirly writing enchanted trinkets from beyond the veil written on it.
What do my spirit senses say about these trinkets?
about a third of them are actually enchanted.
That's more than I thought.
But 66% of them are not.
Yes, 66% of them are definitely not. And the price tags on the ones that are actually enchanted are not really different than the ones that aren't.
So Desmond picks up one of the not enchanted ones and says, "What does this one do?"
There is a human woman manning this stall wearing just layers upon layers of gauzy scarves and beads. And she says, that one, and tell me what you picked up.
A necklace, I guess.
She says, this necklace was recovered during a dig of the great tower ruins of Lake Calenhad. And it's believed to have belonged to the Archmage there. It's said to enhance your third eye.
And how many eyes does a person have?
Well, 2, but then you can open up the psychic third eye and see beyond the veil.
I see. And what's so important about seeing beyond the veil exactly?
Well, if you can't see beyond the veil, you could be talking to a spirit or demon at any time and not even know. They trick you by taking mortal forms. But it's only a deceit to invade your body and steal your mind, to give them a foothold on the mortal plane.
Is that so?
Yes.
Good.
Would you like to purchase one of my fine articles to protect you from such a horrible fate?
Desmond stares at them thoughtfully for a moment, and then he looks back up at her and he says, "I think I would rather light myself on fire."
She kind of sighs and says, all right, then why are you harassing me? I'm trying to make a sale, bud. Move on, they're a tourist.
Because you're a charlatan and you're making shit up.
She gestures widely around you and says, this is Southreach. Everyone makes shit up.
Yes, but let's just say I took particular notice of this stall.
She says, so what do you want then?
Amusement.
I strongly recommend a casino.
He just smirks and wanders off, and then he stops for a moment and he goes, "Well, there's one thing."
What is it? I'm almost on my lunch break. I want to buy a gyro.
He looks kind of pointedly at the ones that he knows are enchanted, and then he looks up at her and he says, "The ones that are actually enchanted, do you happen to know by any chance if they were done by a rift mage, perhaps?"
She says, I don't know nothing about no different types of mages, but you could always ask him.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
You realize she didn't tell you where he was or what his name was, right?
Oh yeah, he just kind of lost interest. He asked on the off chance that she might know something, but at this point he's assuming it's bullshit.
Good.
Excellent. Ray, what are you doing?
I am approaching the chanter,
Oh boy.
lumbering towards them.
Hang on real quick.
Stand near them. I'm gonna loom, but like she's not trying to loom. It's just, hard not to do when you're so large and have big glowing eyes that are blue, I think we said.
Yeah, I think we said blue.
Yeah. Tally. Hello,
Sally, no. The Chantry doesn't do that anymore. It's just the Templars.
You say that.
All right. As you approach, you hear, there was no word for heaven or earth or sea or sky.
Hello. That was in character to the chanter. Excuse me.
Yeah, I got that.
I have a question for you, if you have a moment. I'm trying to remember the deal with the chanters. Can they only say the chant, or can they like stop and talk?
Oh, they can only say the chant. She says, a single word can turn recrimination into glory.
Ah, yes. I have been told that I need to find a rift mage to go into the Fade.
She frowns so deeply at you. You have never been frowned at this hard in your life. And she says very pointedly, and so is the golden city blackened. With each step you take in my hall, marvel at perfection, for it is fleeting. You have brought sin to heaven and doom upon all the world. And she glares at you and turns her back on you and continues reciting the chant to the fountain.
I'm gonna keep talking.
Oh no. No, you know what? You know what? We're gonna see what Neural's doing now. That's what we're
Wait,
gonna do. I'm
no,
not.
I have more to
Fine.
say.
Okay, what?
I believe I may have offended you. I might have insinuated I did not believe the Fade was real. I am trying to save a city.
Doom upon all the world.
Well, it might be if I don't fix it. Well, we don't fix it. There's a giant rift in the sky. There was a dragon, very large dragon, and a curse, and the chantry. It was the chantry, right? Like, am I wrong? No, it wasn't the chantry. It was the.
It was
Never mind.
the chantry, among other buildings, was pretty wrecked. Although
Right,
technically
okay.
the chantry was not wrecked by the dragon.
Got you. The chantry was practically destroyed. We are just trying to help rectify matters.
Some among you wish to flee back to your masters, to throw yourselves at their feet and ask forgiveness. You have left that path. It is already gone. Your feet can never again tread the dust of Valdorma.
Right. So then I am sorry that I offended you in the insinuation that the Fade was not real. I will go search for someone else to help me find a rift magic user. Thank you for your time. And
There I saw the black city, towers all stained, gates once bright golden, forever shut, and heaven was filled with silence. Then did I know all, and crossed my heart with unbearable shame.
I have never before in my life been dragged this hard.
By someone reading a pre-prepared script.
Yeah.
This is so hard. Please stop talking to her.
You're doing
Ray
amazing,
determined
Hannah. I can't believe you're coming up with relevant quotes for everything.
It's perfect.
Thank
However,
you.
Ray has decided that she has offended this person by insinuating the Fade is not real, and so is going to go find somebody else to ask.
Yes, that was the problem.
That was not exactly her point, but fair enough.
Ray pays attention only to Brontos.
Okay. So, just to clarify where we're at right now. Yeah, you know what? Is Neural still gambling?
Yes.
All right. Tell me how Neural's doing.
Okay.
Is Neural playing roulette again?
Same 5 numbers, but I'm adding 87 and 25.
All right. Are you dividing up your shit evenly among those? or are you
One each.
okay? However many that was in fives from your chip total, and roll me gambling and a D100.
50 is within that one, along with 66.
It sure is. You get another 500 chips.
I think Nerl should just be in charge of this campaign.
Yeah, Neural has arguably been the most successful in almost every quest we've done so far. Okay.
This is an added character question.
Yeah.
How much is a chip worth?
1 blue lyre.
There has 1,000 chips.
Oh dear God.
I know.
We're rich. Nerl is rich.
I'm gonna roll a D2.
Nerl, no.
Neural, you could finance our entire journey.
Although your commitment to being in character is outstanding.
I love it.
Nerl
I
is
love
being
it so
smart
much.
again. He is
Oh.
calling it.
What a good boy. We love Nerl.
Oh, good boy, Neural. Okay. Valise, do you want to do anything else in the bar or anywhere else?
No. No, not at the moment. She's going to hover around the bar and casino area and just keeping an ear open and like maybe chit-chatting with some people, probably mostly Kunari. And she's gonna wait for Cassandra to get off her shift. Because she said she would take her to dinner and she is intent on fulfilling that.
Does Valise see Nerl?
Does Valise see Nerl? Would I have to roll perception?
Yeah. You hear one of the roulette guys comes off shift and goes to the bar and says there's some high rollers down there today. They normally don't come out this early.
Valise goes to check that shit out.
Yeah, and you can roll perception when you enter the bar.
Oh boy. Oh no.
Well,
That's a nat one.
You don't really see that many people down there. You're not sure what he was talking about. You do see an old woman at the slot machine who seems very determined.
Valise is going to assume that's who they were.
Oh, probably.
And just continue floating around.
How does the chip counter react to 1,000 chips?
The woman kind of stares at you blankly for a minute and then slides you 1,000 blue lyres in exchange for your chips.
Girl started out with this, and now he is rich.
I can't believe you traded a fucking pepper grinder for that. I expected you to at least like use your goblets or something.
And trade away Nerl's treasure?
You're right. I was a fool.
That was a pepper grinder? He turned a pepper grinder into...
Grinder, 5 blue lyre, and a thing of jet.
That's amazing, and I would like to say how appropriate it is that this started with pepper, because Hannah is now salty.
yes.
Thank you, Dally. All right.
You're welcome.
So back to Team Trainwreck. Would you guys like to do anything else in the bazaar? Have you like found a lead, or who do you want to talk to?
Well, my hot lead dried up real quick.
Yeah, you did not find a hot lead. You found literally the only person in the entire bazaar that I could not justify planting a plot hook with.
Listen, Ray thought Chantry. Fade? Human things of the soul and thoughts. Fade Chantry.
Desmond literally taps someone on the shoulder and says, "Excuse me, do you know where I could find a rift mage?"
The guy kind of shrugs and says, "I don't know much about mages, but if you go down Future Avenue, there's an enchanter's shop." And I don't know what that voice was.
Perfect.
Valid.
Beautiful.
And he kind of points you down the road.
Thank you. I'll check there.
Are you taking Ray with you, or are you just going?
I'm not sure. He just kind of like gestures at Ray vaguely to like get her attention, and then he goes.
All right. I'm assuming Ray has just turned away from her, well, conversation that had already been turned away from by the other person, and spots Desmond and follows after him, unless I have to roll something for that.
No.
Sick.
All right. You guys travel down Future Avenue, which I already regret naming. And you're not totally sure what this guy was talking about for a while. And finally, you come across this very like green storefront with some dried herbs hanging in the window. And the sign says Bud's Kind Herbs, Enchanted Paraphernalia.
Desmond sighs heavily.
Ray thinks that this is exactly the kind of place where you would find a charlatan pretending to be a rift mage, and thinks that this is exactly where they need to be.
Desmond goes in and uses his demon senses to see if anything in here is actually enchanted first.
All right. The store is, in fact, at least 30% bongs, but all the bongs that are labeled as enchanted are enchanted. And as you go in, a bell tinkles over the doorway, and a guy in a very pungent green robe kind of walks up to the counter and he says, "What's good, my man?"
Yes. Do you know where we might find a rift mage?
"Right here, broski. What can I do you for?"
Really?
Can I fit inside
"Of
this
course,
shop?
man." "Yeah, you can fit inside the shop."
Cool.
"Of course, man. I gotta transcend my mind.
Dally, this is it. This is how we die.
See through the illusion."
Really?
"Yeah,
Like what? He winces slightly, like subconsciously winces slightly, realizing that on the off chance that this guy is legit, he might regret asking that question.
like whatever, man. I've seen Into the Fade a couple times. It was trippy, dude.
Yes, I suppose so.
I've even met, well, now 5, I guess, demons.
Oh shit, he's for real.
You want to buy a
Desmond-
bong or something?"
Oh my god. Desmond studies him for a moment.
Wait, I'm sorry. I zoned out for like half a second. I heard the word demons. Did this guy just out Desmond as a demon in my hearing?
The way he said it was very mellow, and what he actually said was, "Well, I've met now 5, I guess, demons." So he is very clearly not trying to out Desmond.
But a very, very subtle, indicator that you know.
I mean,
Nice.
not clearly to you because he's not trying to out Desmond, but like clearly to you, the player.
Right. Ray looks at Desmond and says, "Has this fellow convinced you that he is able to access the Fade?" And I hope y'all can hear the quotations I'm making with my fingers.
Oh, we can.
We can.
Good.
While you're talking, he picks up an old brownie off of the counter where it was sitting on like a napkin with a bite taken out of it and sniffs it and begins to eat it.
On that note, Desmond pauses, watching him for a moment, not looking at Ray, and says, "Yes, he's convinced me."
Right on, brother. He's got kind of a mouthful of brownie, so it comes out garbled, but
Good. Ray nods.
How does Ray feel about Desmond's assessment?
Ray feels that anyone who says that they're a rift mage is obviously a charlatan, and so this charlatan is just as good as any. And as soon as they try and make a portal to the Fade, and it's obviously not something that works because the Fade isn't real. We'll just get on with our regular mission. But she understands that, like, we won't be able to continue this road trip until the humans and, like, above ground people have been convinced that they will not be able to enter this fictional universe to take a shortcut.
So, like, are you guys here for some good herbs, or, like, what?
Well, the reason we're looking for a Rift Mage is because we have to get to Lake Calenhad, and we have to get there fast. And as you can see, we are somewhere fairly far away, and as such, fast is by definition not possible. So I thought to myself, well, what if we could, go through a portal and get there somehow? And, well, here I am.
When you say go through a portal and get there, he chokes on the brownie and he has to, like, cough and smack himself in the chest and kind of, like, to continue this interaction. Like, he was not ready for you to say that. And he says, you want to go in the Fade? Like, physically, brah?
It's the quickest way.
So, lay this out for me. Lay this out for me, Cabrone. You and your friend want to go into the Fade full of, like, demons and unimaginable horrors on purpose, just so you can get somewhere in the real world, like, a little faster.
I was hoping significantly faster, and there are actually 2 other friends, but yes, more or less.
Look, my amigo, I can do it for you, but, like, you're gonna die. Like, this is a seriously bad vibes kind of plan. And I just want to make sure you know that up front. Like, why you gotta rush all the time? You gotta slow down, enjoy your life, and, like, you can enjoy it so much more good if you're not dead because you went into the Fade. Just, like, namaste, you know?
I'm trying real hard not to reach through Ray's character and shake this man.
Desmond sighs a bit and he says, well, according to one of my companions, this is a matter of some urgency, and as for myself, I really have nowhere else to go and nothing else to do, so I figure why not?
My guy, there's so much to live for. You could romp through a field of, like, daisies, could smoke some elf root, could just, like, breathe, you know? But, like, listen, I'll take your money. If that's really what you want, I'm not gonna get in the way of your journey, brah.
Desmond pauses for a moment, and then he looks at Ray and he says, does one of our companions have money?
How much would... I mean, I would need to see proof that this... I would need to see an actual portal into this Fade before payment was provided, but how much are you charging for such a show?
I need about 100 lyres up front and probably 100 more worth of supplies. Like, unless you want me to bleed one of you guys to death, which seems seriously uncool. Like, I'm not gonna mess up my karma like that. So, I need about 100 lyres worth of lyrium potion and another 100 for the service. And I tell you what, my cajone, I see that you doubt my abilities, and it's cool. My mom does too. So I tell you what, you leave that money on the ground in the middle of us. And if there's not a portal for you to walk through and leave that money there, you just pick it up, my man. You pick it up and you walk away.
Seems fair enough. I suppose we should go see. I don't actually know how much money our companions have. That's something we should check into.
Would you like to come with us, or shall we bring them back to you?
Yeah, man. We'll have to go outside city limits to do it anyways. The beacons interfere with, with all the rift stuff. If you want to do something like that, like inside the city, you'd need, like, shit, dude. You'd need, like, at least, like, 12 of me. Maybe more.
I think the one is fine.
I don't even know what I'd do with 12 of me. Pass a bowl, I guess.
I love this man.
Would be kind of a wild experience meeting yourself. He is like off, like thinking about this and monologuing,
Good.
but like you could talk some stuff out, become truly at peace with your own nature. Unless you killed you, I guess. He will follow you if you start walking, but he's gone, man.
Desmond starts
Fair.
leading him back to our companion.
All right. I'm gonna say you guys. He kind of flips over a closed sign on the place, and you guys make it back to the Cune-tastic Casino without any further incidents. At this point, I'm gonna say the search took you guys long enough that Cassandra got off. And it is up to Valise to decide if she then got off again.
She will have at the very least taken her for dinner.
All right. I'm gonna say it went pretty well. Cassandra's pretty serious about the Cune, but she's also kind of a lonely, stoic lesbian. So.
Yep. Elise actually has a decently nice time.
Yeah.
She would have a better time in better circumstances, but yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys can find at least one night's worth of common ground. So, anywho, fast forwarding through that, you guys are all back together, including the mage who has just sort of trailed after you this whole time.
Desmond, Ray, would you like to introduce us to your friend here?
This is the portal mage you requested.
I'm Bud.
You found one. Amazing. Bud, nice to meet you. I'm very relieved to meet you, actually.
Nice to meet you too, man. Pass on the good vibes.
So one thing I'm not sure about is, once we get into the Fade, how do we find a portal out again?
He kind of says, like, listen, the Fade's about, well, like, there's stuff that's outside your control, but there's also, like, it's about, like, wanting it, man. Like, the more you want something, even, like, subconsciously, the more you can will it into reality. So, like, you've got to find, and again, this isn't going to be relevant because, like, I don't want to cast any kind of bad juju here, but, like, you guys are definitely gonna die.
We're going to get killed by demons?
Yeah, or, like, whatever, man. The Fade's just not a super safe place, even if you don't run into any demons. But, like, if you don't die, then you gotta find, like, a good place that seems, like, malleable, Like, if someone else is already making things happen in a place, it's hard to make stuff happen in that same place for you, you know?
All right.
So like you got to find yourself an open spot, and then all you got to do is want it.
So if we want a portal to Lake Calenhad, we'll be able to manifest that?
Shit, in the Fade, yeah, probably. I guess.
Neural checks the mage and says, "How much for Stone Dude to come with?"
Oh, yeah, I value my bod and it not being full of people who aren't me or in several pieces. So like I'm not going on this particular trip, my guy, but like I appreciate that you'd enjoy the companionship. But no, I'm staying here. I
Listen,
can't like spend the money if I'm dead, you know?
listen, Desmond. If you've been through portals before, does that mean you've been to the Fade before? Yes.
Yes.
Are you
Yeah,
confident that?
I think he's been there before.
And are you confident that you can get us through?
Hannah, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean like you've lived there your whole life. Like to you, I would say this is pretty NBD. Like not entirely, because you've now got these like frail mortals to shepherd through, and also you don't know exactly what's going to happen to you like form wise. But
Yeah, that's actually something I was going to ask you, if Desmond knows, like, if he'll be able to retain his form, or if he'll be forced back.
since you are capable of shape shifting in the Fade, you would most likely be able to retain your disguise. But like when you popped through the portal, you kind of defaulted to your base state. So like it's possible that would happen again, but you would be able to disguise yourself right after.
All right. So Desmond says, yes, I'd say I'm fairly confident.
All right. And how much is this going to run us, Mr. Bud?
I'll need like 100 blue lyres for materials and another 100 for the service, my man.
Neural starts counting out 200 blue lyre.
Valise had started to look rather, oh god, that's a lot more money than we actually have, until Neural starts counting and she does a double take. Neural, where did you... How long have you... I'm not going to question it.
I'm surprised Valise isn't putting two and two together.
Hey, I rolled a nat 1. What do you want from me?
Sure. The 200 blue lyre.
He says, looks righteous, my guy. So, you want to do this now?
Do we have anything we need to do beforehand?
Are there any bugs in the room?
There are not. It is a very clean, well-run casino/hotel.
Then we are good to go.
Well, I'm going to let them know we've checked out.
He kind of nods and says, yeah, check out a life, man.
I mean, the hotel. I'll be back in a moment. And she...
Oh, cool.
She's gonna check out...
He pulls out a vape pen.
Oh my goodness. She goes to check out her reception and leaves a note for Cassandra saying, maybe see you next time I'm in town.
Aw. Okay, yeah, you check out with no further problems. I'm not sure at what point this got said, so Bud reiterates the thing about it needing to be outside of city limits. Are you taking Sable with you, or are you... I'm going to say there's an option to board Sable at the stable, if you would prefer.
Can we just take our entire cart into the Fade?
Yes.
Hang on.
Or horse?
How is a horse going to fare in the Fade, Desmond?
Hannah?
The ground is not always solid. I would say taking a horse and cart is a pretty bad idea, especially since you guys don't currently have enough gear that you'd be like, oh no, but I can't take all this extra stuff.
Boarding the horse and cart. I don't want to risk Sable's safety.
Yeah, like, I mean, you guys know I'm not gonna kill an animal in this campaign, probably, but like,
I'm not
it just seems like a bad plan logistically.
How much is it gonna cost to board Sable?
Cassandra kind of nods at you and says, "We will take good care of him."
Aw, Cassandra's so good.
Cassandra also hates her boss. like, don't get me wrong, she is into you, but like, it also helps that she hates her boss and doesn't care if her boss makes money.
I'm fine with all this. I mean, her boss should be eschewing financial gain anyway, because, that there lies corruption and what happens.
Well, if you don't have any money, you can't print those nice, like, colored, glossy pamphlets.
And
to
everyone
proselytize with.
wins! Yes.
So, anywho, you guys sit down in the grass, and Bud just chugs like 3 lyrium potions in a row. And as he turns to you guys, he's like sweating a little bit. Like, that's definitely not something you should ever do. Is drink that many at once. And it's kind of like those old Gatorade commercials, like the sweat is kind of glowing blue.
Oh, God.
And
Good.
and he kind of goes, "Whew, that's a lot. All right, guys. Yeah, just leave the money on the ground, and here we go." And he concentrates for a minute, and he's brought a staff with him, and he sort of channels the power through the staff, and he opens up a green glowing portal, and he says, "I don't know where you guys are gonna come out, so good luck, my dudes.
Neural jumps in heads first.
I'm not gonna see you again, but like, I hope I see you again."
Thanks, Bud.
We'll be fine. You don't need to worry about us.
Neural has jumped in head first.
Valise quickly follows after Nerl to make sure he doesn't get into too much trouble.
Desmond actually gestures for Ray to head in and says, "After you."
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Allie just came out here because the dog is harassing her while she tries to eat cereal, and is stepping back to the computer.
He literally ripped the earbuds out of my ears and jumped on top of me.
Oh, Max.
He love you.
After like
He loves her
coming up
so
and
much.
jumping up onto the bed and getting in my face so many times while I was trying to eat the Cheerios. But I figured it was time to close the office door when he ripped the earbuds out of my ears.
All right, Bucky, will you reiterate?
He gestures to the portal while looking at Ray and says, "After you."
Ray is just like staring at this portal, like jaw drop, like stone jaw on the floor. And she kind of steps forward and like sticks an arm through it and kind of wiggles it around, kind of like looks around the other side to see if her arm is going through it, like maybe this is some kind of a prank illusion.
It is not a prank illusion. Also, Neural and Valise have already jumped in.
In my defense, the dog was very distracting. All right.
Hey, Brock, could you like move it? This isn't super easy to maintain. No offense. Like, I know it's like one of your last moments on Earth, but this is a lot of effort.
Ray just kind of turns to him and says, "I apologize for thinking you were sharp." And then she steps through the portal.
It's all good, my man.
Desmond waves and then steps in.
All right, Alistair, roll concentration.
Roll a 1. Roll a 1.
Nipple tassels, nipple tassels.
Are you rooting for your own nipple tassels?
No, I'm translating what Andrea's saying.
Yeah. Also, I did say roll concentration, not infiltration. Just reminder.
Roll out. No fun.
All right, Desmond, you jump through the portal, and you are working really hard. You're concentrating, and you feel your disguise kind of like waver for a sec, but you're able to force it back into place. And you pop out of the portal just as human as you were when you popped into it. And as everyone gets up, you look around, and you are in a beautiful palatial, well, it looks like it should be a garden. Like, there's a lot of marble pathways, and flower beds and trees, but all the plants are dead. And I'm going to say we call the session there.
Fair enough.
All right. Y'all did it. You made Ray believe in the Fade.
Also, we got to the Fae. That was good too.
Yeah, that was really good.
Well, I say good. I mean, we might die. I hope we don't.
Nerl is rich.
Nerl is rich. I'm very proud of Nerl.
Same.
Would you like to sign off, Hannah?
All right. Thank you all for playing. Thank everyone for listening. And good night.